Hello and welcome to Old Lady Plays. I'm Kate, the old lady, and this is Tips for the Advanced Football Manager number 8. Today we're looking at use tighter marking. And I'm not going to tell you not to use it. I know, shocking, isn't it? But what I am going to tell you is you need to be thoughtful about how to use it. That is to say, I only use it when I'm playing against teams with much less ability than my own. Um, I know it seems a little paradoxical, but it's for me, it is something that I use for terrible players, not for good players. The reason for that is that if you use this with, say, when you're marking, say, Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi or someone like that, what's going to happen is you're going to make your defender is going to be so tight with the man that they will end up turning you much more easily. Um, so when you're up against somebody with good technique specifically, or first touch, well, especially good technique and first touch, if they've got both of those, back off. Do not use tighter marking. Do not set the opposition instruction to tighter marking on players with good technique and good first touch. The reason is they will turn your player and you'll end up looking silly. Your defender will end up looking goofy because they're going to try and stay tightly marked to somebody who will just take the ball, turn, and go. And yeah, so it's one of those to use sparingly. You need to know when to use it and how to use it, um, which is kind of what I'm trying to teach you here. So listen up. Um, just don't automatically hit use tighter marking because you think it'll mean that you're gonna stop more balls into the player that you're tighter marking. Um, this tip really comes from not so much from my football manager experience, but from my actual coaching experience. I do have a level 2 coaching badge here in Canada, um, and this is something that I tell my players when I'm actually coaching a team, is that rather than tightly marking somebody, you should loosely mark them. Um, be at a distance. The way I train my players is at a distance where if both of you reached out, you could just touch each other. You could just touch hands, kind of thing. So double arm's length. That's about where I like to have my players when they're marking somebody, because you can always step in closer. You can always step in tighter if you see that they haven't managed to turn the ball. If they have managed to turn the ball, you're going to be a yard back and in a much better position to effectively defend that situation. So that's my thoughts on use tighter marking, and it applies to the opposition instructions as well. So don't just blindly put on use tighter marking for everybody, because that's asking for trouble. Forwards and wingers, people like that, people who tend to have high technique, high first touch, you got to be a little careful with them because they will burn you. What we used to call turn and burn, right? It's not a pretty sight. It'll end up making your defenders look goofy. So use it sparingly. Think about when you're using it. And I don't tend to use this one very much at all. The one here, because it's too general. It just sets all of my players to using tighter marking, and I don't think I don't think it's useful. But using the opposition instructions where you can tailor them to the exact player that you're facing against, it takes a little extra time, but it's definitely worth it if you've got to win the game. Is knowing who to tight mark and who not to tight mark. I hope you found that useful. If you did, drop a like, hit subscribe, retweet, do all of those things. You know the drill. I hope you're having a great day, and take care.